It's been a minute since we've reviewed Batman Inc., but we're back. And yes, I know I'm 4 issues behind, but in my defense, I took a break for a month and then I got sick for like 2 weeks. So we're slowly catching our way back up on the series, as well as other series I've missed reviewing, such as She-Hulk, Poison Ivy, and Scarlet Witch. And also, spoiler alert, I will also be adding Uncanny Spider-Man soon to that roster of comics I'm reviewing. But on Batman Inc., we're on to issue 9. The last issue was the start of an arc about Joker's own team, which was technically set up prior to that, but it didn't start until last issue. An arc that seems to be doing a lot with Raven Red, considering that they had shot his father, although the character is actually absent from this issue, but the cover of next issue has him going on with a confrontation with the Joker that had shot his dad. So I'm going to go on a limb here and say that is probably going to be a big Raven Red issue. But if you're wondering what was going on with that storyline, we don't really know at the moment, considering that he is not actually in this issue. Which is unfortunate, because he's actually probably one of the strongest characters of the series. We start in Argentina, where one of the Joker Inc. members is attacking a building full of people when he's interrupted by the Joker, who has Ghost Maker El Gachou facing what is a screen playing the security cameras of that building from his base. Therefore, they can actually see what this Joker's about to do. But Joker tells him to hang on a moment as he wishes to show his true plan before this Joker member can continue in what they call a bullet orgy. I never heard anyone use that term. Bullet orgy. Say that 10 times fast. Bullet orgy, 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 bullet orgy. Bullet orgy, bullet orgy, bullet orgy. Okay, guess it wasn't that hard. Should I cut that part out, or I'm keeping it? I don't care, I'm keeping it. And while at first it seems as if Joker is going to let this Joker continue, he clicks a button and on the screen our heroes see this Joker die, as gas comes from his body infecting the people around him, which kills them. Ghostmaker is absolutely stunned by this act, as well as Joker revealing that his actual plan is that every Joker has their own hostages, and is infected by this gas, which Joker will activate and is on a timer. Joker tells him the only way to stop the Jokers is by killing them, which would break the rule that Batman had for Ghostmaker with him as the new leader of Batman Inc. Because if they don't, then the Jokers will just expose the gas to all the hostages and everyone else around, and they will all die. I'll be honest, that is a very good plan, Joker. Trying to add some mistrust to the Batman Inc. I like it. Even if it kind of contradicts what you said last issue a little bit on the Joker's Inc. team's whole true purpose. We cut to Knight and Grey Wolf at Knight's base, where they're doing research on one of the Jokers, only to find out that apparently that Joker had somehow gotten into her base and destroyed both her files and also her computer files. Which is of course something that she is very confused about, as this base is completely off the grid, but there's no time to question that because they have to go find him, as they had left a note as to where he's heading. We then go to Australia, where there's an active blocked out area as one of the Jokers have hostages and the police can't get in, and when they try, they're all murdered. So they've called in Dark Ranger Wingman. Wingman, by the way, doesn't even talk here. The police have blocked out the area because they don't want anyone else getting either killed by the Jokers or caught by the Jokers. Speaking about Wingman doing nothing, there is something I want to mention. Wingman, despite being a main character in the series, has done literally next to nothing. On his mission to fight Avery, he was taken down immediately, and Knight did everything. She had to take on Fallen solo. He was left behind with Dark Ranger just a few issues ago at the base. Almost every scene and panel he is just in the background, not saying anything. So I'm just wondering, why is he in this series? Because he doesn't do anything. Also, what they do with the character at the end of this issue, which if you read it you already know, and by the fact that I am bringing this up, it's pretty obvious, but that is, it makes the character not on the table anymore to be used. Therefore, why use them in the first place if you weren't going to do anything with them? I'm not going to say what they did do with the character until it actually happens. However, considering the fact that I am talking in past tense, it's pretty obvious that they kill him. Okay, I did say it. But it's just, why does this happen? Why is he just in the background doing nothing? It's a little odd, because why add him to the roster of the team if he's not going to contribute anything to the story? I'm not a huge Wingman fan, as prior to this series he was a pretty minor character, and when he did appear I wasn't the biggest fan of the whole, ooh, Jason Todd's father is still alive plot twist. But even though that is the case for me, I still am so confused as to why they even use the character if they're not going to do anything with the character. And I do feel bad if anyone actually likes Wingman, because if they do, this is not the series you want to read. Because he's on the cover of a lot of issues, yet he doesn't do anything in them. Sorry, just a quick rant because I was very, very confused as to why this character is even in this series after having read this entire issue. Anyways, in France, Nightrunner is being held captive in a cage at a circus by a French clown, which, by the way, I really like because it does actually speak volume of how this is an international Joker community. Anyways, Nightrunner actually tricks this clown into walking close enough to the cage that he takes him out, which I have to be honest is really cool. I'm so happy Nightrunner is back because I was really upset that he was absent earlier on in the series. Why did Wingman get a spell on the team but not Nightrunner? He has done more in 2 issues than Wingman has in 9. Nightrunner afterwards tries to call upon the Batman Inc., most of whom are dealing with their own clowns, as Nightrunner still has to stop the boss of the French clowns. But because Batman Inc. is busy, he's on his own, and needs to save the hostages. And Knight suspects that means the Joker Inc. is probably spreading them out thin, purposely, trying to divide them across the globe. Hero and Clown Hunter show up in South Dakota where they find a victim of a Joker who is still alive. They try helping only for the clown who shot Raven Red's dad to show up, who is disappointed to see that Raven Red isn't with them, wishing to have a showdown with him after having shot his father. Back with the Joker and Ghost Maker El Gachou, Joker gets away, leaving the two of them with the knowledge they have to kill the Jokers, as well as us getting a quick panel of Knight and Grey Wolf finding a dead body that one of the Jokers had left for them, as well as another note to taunt them, as they were too late to save this man. Dark Ranger and Wingman find themselves with their own Joker that looks a lot like Nightwing for some reason, who attacks them in the woods, only for the two of them to tase him easily. And by the two of them, I mean Wingman. Wingman did something! And he's about to do something else that is not gonna help the character. They get a call from Ghost Maker who explains what is happening, and that Wingman and Dark Ranger look at each other, as Ghost Maker explains that they have to kill the Joker. And by the Joker, I don't mean the Joker, but the Joker they have caught. Wingman is just straight up okay with it, but Dark Ranger tries to stop him. It's enough time for the villain to get up and stab Wingman to death. And the issue ends with a pretty big cliffhanger, that being if Wingman will survive or not, which I know he doesn't because I made sure. Before actually scripting this video, I had looked up if the character had died. And yeah, that actually is his death, meaning that the character literally did nothing and died at the first time he did anything. He was finally showing that he has some character, that being that he's okay with killing, only for himself to be killed. I know, you're meant to be sad that he's gone, but I honestly kind of find it funny. He did nothing this entire series until his last moment, where then he's killed. Which in itself is kind of sad, because I do think the idea of a Batman willing to kill being on this team other than Ghostmaker is an interesting idea. But we won't be able to see that because he's now dead. I also don't believe that Grey Wolf is that far behind from Wingman's fate. I know he's still alive as of the issues that have come out so far, however Wingman, like him, didn't do much, and Wingman did die, therefore I could see Grey Wolf following him. Although I will give Grey Wolf this, he is a much better character implemented in actual fight scenarios than the majority of the characters. Even though story-wise he isn't the strongest, when it comes down to fights he does actually shine. And he's more competent than Wingman, who's always knocked out in battle. Therefore I can understand why Grey Wolf would be the one that wouldn't be killed off first. Which is in itself interesting because Wingman actually was a more established character before Grey Wolf even appeared in comics, because Grey Wolf before the series only appeared in a single issue, while Wingman had an entire arc about being Jason Todd's father. But both Grey Wolf and Wingman feel like red shirts for this series, and I could see Grey Wolf very much following in Wingman's footsteps and being killed off. Maybe he won't, but I could also still see the character being killed. Especially if the other Luthor projects come back, like the Fallen, or the Hollow, or the Fizzer. But that's just my own opinion. I don't dislike Grey Wolf. I didn't even dislike Wingman. But I do think that Grey Wolf is a potential candidate for killing off a character. The strongest characters of the entire series, in my opinion, are Knight, Raven Red, and Batman Japan. The last two of which actually either do not appear or have very small roles. But Knight continues, in my opinion, to be a very strong support, and was the one to figure out that Joker was actually stretching them thin as a part of the plan. She, in my opinion, is actually probably one of the strongest characters in either Batman Inc. comics, as there was a previous Batman Inc. series as well, where she was actually the Squire. And in both cases, in my personal opinion, the character is a very strong addition to the team, to the point where I think the character very much could be on her own. She was a co-hero in the Knight and Squire comic back when she was still Squire, which was only 6 issues, but I do think the character of Knight very much could branch off on her own. Ghost Maker is also a very strong character, however in my personal opinion nowhere as strong as Knight, Raven Red, or Batman Japan. I did like how you saw him react to learning that they needed to kill the Jokers, as you could see that he really wanted to keep his promise to Bruce, but was willing not to. He also has a very cool design, which definitely helps him. Your eyes are just drawn to him because of the fact that his design is just, well, it's bad ASS. And he is a fairly compelling character, but he's not a good leader of Batman Inc. I would say that Knight would actually be a better fit, considering that every time she's a part of a subgroup of the team, she's always an instant leader when Ghostmaker isn't around. Well, Ghostmaker keeps secrets from his team, and doesn't trust all of them, which, to be fair, makes him a compelling character, and he wasn't exactly wrong to, because, after all, Black Mist did betray them. And while that does make him a very intriguing character, he's just not a good leader. Maybe a co-leader with Knight, or perhaps just a second in command. I just don't think the character really works as a leader of this team. But that's also just my personal opinion, which you can disagree with, of course. And finally, Nightrunner. I am so thrilled that he's finally back, as he was one of my favorite members of Batman Inc. So to see him back is great. He was actually at one point considered to get his own comic, which I would read, however it didn't end up happening. Despite him having a somewhat small part in this issue, he already is very well displayed in how smart the character is, with how he took out that guard. The character, like Ghostmaker, also has a very cool design, and I am very, very excited to see what the character does in later issues. As for the story itself, it is a very decent story. In fact, there are parts I really like, but the best are, in my opinion, the character moments. And I really like the idea of a Joker's Inc., even if I think it's a little out of character for the Joker to go global considering the character's sick obsession with what is Gotham. But it's the Joker, so I'm just happy to see him, because who doesn't love Joker? I do think some of the Joker Inc. members are a little lame, however I really like the French Clown. I don't even know why, I just really like the French Clown. He has a very different theme than the rest of them. While all of them are very colorful, he's very noir. It makes him stand out. And that's it. Like always, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!